Whoa, what's going on, guys? I am sore as shit today. My chest is killing me, my back is killing me, my body, it's shot, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. You know, and today's a rest day, obviously. When it's time for a rest day, and your body's like, hey, dude, you need a rest day, I love when that correlates really well, because don't get me wrong, I'd rather go train, right? I love training the gym, working hard, pushing the freaking weights. It's a lot of fun for me, but we need the rest days because that's when we grow. You get weak and small in the gym, but you get big and strong when you're sleeping and you're eating. Aside the pump, but that doesn't count. So, we're heading to the gym right now. Excuse me. It's a rest day. Rest day cardio. Rest day cardio and freaking calories, baby. So, I always have my Abe, all black everything, pre-made drink when I do my cardio because I sip through it. But I was at Stop and Shop and I said to myself, you know what tastes good and has a bunch of calories in it? These Starbucks mocha things. Another 270 calories here, about 10 grams of protein, something like that. 4.5 fat, who cares? 50 something sugar, 48 sugar. 48 carbs. The sugar, I don't know. Probably most of it. No comment. But they taste good, full of calories. It's fresh. You gotta listen for the pop. Whew. Pretty and teeny tiny. Cheers. So, okay, I guess this guy's letting me go. Thank you. That's odd. So not my right away. But you gotta read the room, So we're feeling good. It's nice seeing the weight go back up again, man. I'm feeling like myself. John's feeling like himself again. Everything feels good. My body feels good. My feet hurt. Well, that's okay. But feeling good, feeling freaking strong. Today we're going to talk about the importance of rest days and how to prioritize your schedule to optimally work with rest days. Because for me, there's certain days during the week that are a little bit busier than others. My Sundays, kinda, and my Wednesdays, yeah, big time. So for me, I like to put my rest days on those days of the week. And it sounds silly. It sounds like, oh, well, yeah, duh, that makes sense. But take a look at your schedule right now. And when was the last time you adjusted your training schedule to work with your real life schedule? Now, a lot of us made our training schedule. We stick with it forever. And we'll move a day around here or there if we have to, but we're used to doing this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday, and so on and so forth. But if you're not a little flexible with it, and I don't mean every week, I mean like readjust once a year or so, or if you get a new job, something like that, where it's like, hey man, your schedule got significantly different. Like my girl likes doing stuff on the weekends, which she works a regular 9-to-5 job. I work for myself. So I can do anything I want any day, basically. I can always make it fit if I have to. She can't. So I have to correlate giving her free time on the weekends. Which, fair. I can't get mad at that. So Sundays are a rest day for me, so she can do whatever she wants. And I train my arms on Sundays, on Saturdays. Because arms I can bang out quick, early, if I need to. And I'll feel good the rest of the day instead of being like obliterated. Like if I did the legs and then she wanted to go, I don't know, pumpkin picking or something, right? A girl thing. I don't want to go pumpkin picking after leg day. I want to lay down. But now if you go about your little relationship activities after an arm day and she wants to take all the pretty pictures, you know, you have a freaking arm pump all day long. Boom. Now that's the way to do it, right? There we go. I was trying to get a thumbnail. Excuse me. And it kept like not being in the camera frame. The person next to me was probably very confused and very flattered. But you got to look at it that way, man, right? So it's like when you were a kid and you just started working out, and let's say you were at the intensity level where you started going to the gym on the holidays and your parents were upset with you, but you said, no, I have to go. It's who I am, Mom. It's not a phase, right? So you went to the gym on Christmas morning before your family went over, or let's say you did your house stuff first in the morning. You went to the gym in the afternoon. You're going to see the rest of your family later, right? You didn't want to train legs, because if you pulled your pants down at Christmas again, you know, your family was going to disown you. They got very upset last year. So what do? Arm day, shoulder day, chest day, back day, kind of, but not as much as the first three, right? You do something like that where your pants have to stay on, so you can't be showing off your quads, but you're walking around a little bit fuller, like what's his name? Brunto? The guy in Popeye the Sailor Man that's not Popeye. Brutus? Something like that. I starts with a B, I'm pretty sure. But he's always walking around like this, like he owns the freaking place. You know, you're walking around the Christmas tree with your nieces and nephews just... That's the secret, man. That's the freaking secret. But in all seriousness, you need to move your schedule around in a way that works with the things that can't move. You know, I'm fortunate, I'm blessed. I work for myself, and it certainly wasn't an easy road getting here, far from it. You know, I've been through hell and back 35 times, and, you know, I have frequent flyer miles to go back and forth. But building the life for me that I built, you know, I'm incredibly grateful, incredibly happy. And it was worth every second of it, and I'd do it all again. So I can train when I need to train. God forbid. But there's still some days where I know, like Wednesdays, for instance, I can have a lot of meetings on Wednesdays because a lot of the CEOs and stuff I talk to are usually more available on those days. So what I do is I say, okay, John, that's going to be a rest day for you, because the rest of the world really can't have a rest day that day. They're very busy that day. So that's perfect. So let me take a rest day the day the rest of the world isn't resting. That way I can commune with the rest of the world and I can get a lot done. Because if I take a rest day on, let's say, a Friday, right? And I'm trying to commune with these business owners, CEOs, and blah, blah, blah. Some of them aren't even at work on Friday. They don't come in. Why would you? So, then you have the weekends. Setting up a meeting right before a weekend, you know, doesn't help anything. But for me, midweek, you know, on Mondays, people are busy solving the problems that happen over the weekend. On Tuesday, they're handling Monday stuff because Monday they were busy handling the weekend stuff. On Wednesday, they're back to normal. Now let's build. Now let's have meetings, do whatever we got to do, blah, blah, blah. Right? So for me, Wednesdays works. And Sundays work because it works with Wednesdays. Really the only reason, to be honest. So that works great. And on Sundays, I love getting a lot of work done if I can to get me ahead for the week. So that's the method to my madness, at least, you know? But yeah. So as far as changing your schedule up, to make it work better for you, you have to ask yourself a couple questions. First of all, sit down with a piece of paper and a pen, because it makes your life a lot easier. Or an Excel spreadsheet that you can just copy, paste, and move things around. without scribbling lines everywhere. Both work really well. And ask yourself, realistically, let's just say you're just starting out in the gym and you want to make a routine that makes sense for you. How many days a week do you realistically think you'll go if you don't want to go, right? 3, and which is fine. Better than nothing, that's for sure. Or if you're a seasoned athlete, tell yourself, how many days a week do you have to train? 5? Okay, so you have that number in your head now, right? From there, excuse me, I had a mustache hair in my mouth. But from there you ask yourself, okay, what are the days where I'm most likely to skip because I just have way too much going on? Is it Mondays, catching up from the weekend? Is it Fridays, getting ahead of time? And be honest with yourself. Is it like a Saturday because you're not going to get up in the morning and you're just going to jerk around all day? Which is a pretty bad answer, but it's not my program, it's your program. And you can perfect it later on, but sometimes you got to be realistic with yourself, right? And ask yourself, what am I actually going to do? Who am I actually? From there, you level it up. But let's just say your Mondays and your, Thursdays. Your Mondays and your Fridays, how about that? Beginning and the end of the week are toast. They're absolutely shot. Because on Monday, you're handling all the problems that happened over the weekend. On Friday, your boss expects you to set up everything so no problems happen over the weekend. And you're going crazy because you know that never works, but he's driving you nuts anyway. So that leaves 5 days a week. You can get to the gym Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's not bad. You get to the gym 5 solid days. You get 2 days rest that aren't really next to each other. So it gives you time to train something big in between. And you ask yourself, all right, so where am I going to put my most intense workouts, right? Because I'm not going to train legs and then back the next day. Or I'm not going to train back and then legs. If I go into a leg day after a back workout, my squats, anything like that, my RDLs, they're going to be fried. Because my whole posterior chain, my whole back, my lower back is shot. I'm not going to train arms before chest, because if my triceps are shot, good luck training chest. I'm not going to train buys before back, because if I train buys before back, good luck training your back, because the biceps are the first line of defense. You get what I'm saying? Triceps before shoulders, same reason. Your presses start at the tricep, not at the shoulder. So what are you going to do? So here are my rules of thumb in terms of making a program for yourself. Never have a back day and a leg day next to each other. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, never train your appendages like your arms before a chest or a back day or a shoulder day. Okay? Rule number 3, never train your core before a back day or a leg day. You don't need a core day. I put core in usually with chest, and I just kind of do it in there. Otherwise, I know I'm not going to do it. So I just superset it in there somewhere. Those are the biggest 3 rules you need to follow. There's people that say, if you do a quad day and a hamstring day and this, that, and the next thing. Man, if you have a back day, a leg day, an arm day, a shoulder day, and a chest day, you're good. It's a bro split. It's an absolute bro split. But why is that a bad thing? People try to overcomplicate the wheel a little bit when realistically it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Maturing in your training is realizing that the basics are what you need. The basics are what get you in shape. You don't need all these fancy glute workouts and fancy ab workouts. You got to train heavy, do your squats, take some time, and stop eating cookies. There's no fancy recipes. There's no fancy diets. There's no fancy anything. The sexier an answer sounds, because sex sells, right? The worse it works every time. And it might work fast, sometimes, but it always comes back to bite you. Worse so. Especially something that is a temporary fix, like medication, where you relied on this medication to make you, let's say, lose weight, like Ozempic, for instance, which I could go into a rant on how bad that stuff is for you. There's so many more reasons that I'm going to mention in this video. But the Ozempic, let's just say, took the weight off you. I'm not going to say fat, took the weight off you, because it burns way more muscle than it does fat. When you were eating anything, it just burned that weight off. Couldn't care less, right? From there, you learned nothing about nutrition, nothing about discipline. You know, when somebody's overweight, they're usually very undisciplined people. Not always, but, you know, usually. If you can't control what you put in your body, you know, you can't control most things. What's funny for a guy, at least, they say if you can control your brain, your tongue, and your dick, you solve 99% of your problems in your life. And that's pretty true. You can control those three things, man. If you have true power over what you do with those three things, you know, you're good. Most things won't really affect you or go wrong in your life because most things that do are caused by one of those three. And sometimes you use them all together. It's a slippery slope. You got to control yourself. And when people use medication and stuff, they never learn to control themselves. They just think, oh, this was a quick fix. Yay, I'm good. They go back to their old eating habits and they balloon up faster than ever. Then they go, oh, I'll use it again. And they're destroying their organs. Or there's no muscle left to burn for the Ozempic. Something like that. You know, you can't get away with that stuff, man. That's the biggest thing. Is if you don't take the time to learn healthy habits in your program, in your nutrition, in your sleep, in your water intake, in your alcohol consumption, in your everything, you're kind of shot. And it's a sad thing to say, but it's true. But so let's say hypothetically you were going to make the perfect program for yourself, right? Let's use my program, for instance, because I believe my program is the best, because that's why I made it and that's why I do it. Some people may disagree, but I'm happy with what mine is. And I can only talk to you about my experiences. So the days of the week I train these things don't matter, right? That's irrelevant. Because I can take my whole program, push it up a day, down a day. Like Mondays are always what the fuck is this guy doing? Mondays are always a back day for me, right? Tuesdays are always chest. If I started doing back on Tuesdays and chest on Wednesdays, just moved everything up a day, it doesn't affect it at all. But I'm talking more about what muscles I train on which days and why, okay? So let's start with Monday. Monday's a back day. Why is Monday a back day? Because Tuesday's chest day. So I can obliterate my posterior chain. My anterior is totally fresh. My arms are fresh because I didn't just train them the other day. And my legs are far enough away from my back day. Tuesday being chest day, right? My shoulder day is yet to come. My shoulder day is on Thursday, so it's far enough away where it's not going to hinder my shoulder day. And of course, my arm day is far enough away where it's not going to hinder my chest day. And my shoulder day is obviously far enough where it's not going to hinder my chest day too. I do core with chest as well, because I can't do core before back, because my body's stabilizers need a strong core while I'm training them. Or what do? Wednesday's a rest day, because I just trained my entire torso. It needs a day to just chill out for a minute and rest. Thursday, shoulder day. Shoulder day's not a bad day. It's pretty cut and dry why it's there. It just fit nicely. It's far enough away from my chest day where it's not going to hinder it. It's not going to destroy my CNS, because on Friday I do legs. Legs will obliterate my CNS, my central nervous system, and I don't want them smoked, nor do I want to be smoked going into a leg day. Arm day on Saturday, right? And that leg day is far enough away from my back day, which is important. Now, arms on Saturday after leg day. A lot of people say after a leg day, you need to rest. But I say quite the opposite. I say the more you train, the heavier something is you train, right? The more intense the workout is. Like a back day or a leg day in particular, man. Whatever you train the day after that gets a significantly more anabolic response, because when you're training, you're ripping apart muscle fibers, right? Muscle fibers aren't made of nothing. It's kind of like you're popping pill capsules in your legs, or your back, or your arms, your shoulders, or whatever. And those pill capsules are full of iron, creatine, B vitamins, zinc, amino acids, all those good anabolic hormones. Now, I'm going to pop open more pill capsules, tear more muscle fibers, training like my legs or like my back than I will on like a shoulder day or an arm day. So, I want to go into a muscle group that's a weak link for me, like my arms, with all of those extra nutrients just in my bloodstream doing things, right? Same reason why I train chest after back. One of the reasons is because I have significantly more of those hormones, those compounds, in my blood after that back workout. Legs is the most of that by far, but back is it's a second place. Third place is, I'd say, shoulders, I guess, but it's far behind. You know, it's far behind back. You know, you look at your size of your legs, you're like, shit, that's a lot of dense, thick muscle. Look at your size of your back, you say, that's a lot of wide muscle. And then everything else, you know, your chest, your arms, your shoulders, they're big, they're strong, they can move a lot of weight, right? But they're nothing close to the size of those other two muscle groups. So that's why they're releasing the most of those amino acids, those hormones, those minerals, vitamins, so on and so forth, because you're popping, quote unquote, more of those pill capsules, more muscle fibers. Arm day also, even if you're training it balls to the walls, right? It's pretty light in terms of your training regime on your central nervous system, which is exactly what your body needs the day after you just smoked it with legs. I was afraid this thing's not on. Sunday's rest day for me, because my appendages, my arms, and my legs are both fried, and I want to make sure my arms are healed up enough for back on Monday. So that's the rationale, if you were. Quick, listen to the pop, because I want some now. Popping a sizzle today, baby. It always looks like I take a very small sip, but it's filled to like the brim. But anyway, that's the reason why my schedule is there. I hope the thought process about why things are in certain places helped you guys. And on that note, my friends, we will be at the gym momentarily for a rest day cardio day. Why am I not just resting on my rest days? If you go watch the video about why cardio makes you bigger, you'll explain why. It'll tell you why. So on that note, my friends, I'll see you tomorrow. What are we training tomorrow? What are we training tomorrow? Shoulders. For a boulder shoulder day, baby. Let's get it.